Hello, it's John, and we are in Georgetown, Colorado.
This video is about the first half of a weekend we spent exploring this quaint Victorian-era mountain community with its beautiful fall foliage and remnants of a glorious silver mining past. Even though Georgetown is right on I-70, which we had taken up from Denver in the wee hours of the morning, we opted to arrive by the more tranquil Alvarado Road. We soon came across an old graveyard, the peaceful Alvarado Cemetery. It is the final resting place of many of Georgetown's early citizens. Our next stop, a couple of miles from town, was at the Alvarado Open Space Park, where the still waters of a quiet pond reflected an idyllic image of its surroundings. It would have been close to heaven on earth, except it was a little too close to the noisy interstate, just out of sight a few hundred feet away. We finally arrived in town and made our first stop at the fantastically picturesque Georgetown Lake, where crystal clear waters mirrored the morning's calm. At 55 acres, it is a relatively small reservoir, but it fills its main purpose nicely, that of being the town's water supply. It is also a very popular spot for fishing and is open for non-motorized boating and paddleboarding as well. As we continued our journey towards the quaint heart of Georgetown, we stopped to stroll through the wilds of Greenway Park, lying along the banks of Clear Creek. Here we found a maze of magical shrub tunnels coursing through the riparian lowlands, which soon gave way to tall trees, shading a forest path carpeted with new fallen leaves. At last, we reached the Victorian-era storefronts of downtown, little changed from when they were built in the last 3 decades of the 1800s. Constructed in the shadow of high mountains, this part of town remains untouched by the sun's warmth for hours after sunrise. We found this to be the perfect time to enjoy coffee and tea at where else but Georgetown Coffee and Tea. Now, warmed and fueled, we began exploring the downtown area, starting with the 1883 jailhouse. Across the street, antique industrial equipment serves as a fitting reminder that Georgetown's roots go deep into the heart of the surrounding rock. Founded as a gold camp in 1859, it failed to prosper until vast quantities of silver were discovered in the latter part of the 1860s. By the mid-1870s, it had become the Silver Queen of the Rockies, before being knocked off its throne by an even greater boom in the incongruously named Leadville. Georgetown's 25-year heyday ended all too soon with the silver crash of 1893, and most of its historic structures date from this period. Of course, we couldn't pass up this old-fashioned candy shop with its handcrafted sweets and ice cream. Starting to feel just a little full, we decided to work off some calories while experiencing. We took a tour of Georgetown's elegant Hotel de Paris, now an excellent museum that preserves the look and feel of a luxurious 19th century inn. Established by the fascinating Louis Dupuy in 1875, it gave the then frontier mining town an air of European sophistication. The interior of the hotel is little changed from the days when President Ulysses S. Grant lodged here on a trip to Colorado. Next, we toured one of Georgetown's 4 original fire stations, which helped prevent the town from being destroyed by fire, like nearby Silver Plume or Central City. Its tower provided not only a watchman's lookout, but was also a place to hang fire hoses to prevent their freezing in winter. After nearly a century and a half, the interior has changed little, with the upstairs fireman's hall still sporting original carpet and benches. Finally, it was time for dinner, which we chose to eat in a rustic downtown saloon known as 511 Rose. Here we feasted on mouth-watering nachos and burgers and enjoyed a bourbon-infused pecan pie a la mode. Our time here was made even more magical by the talented Rob Solomon, who performed a nostalgic playlist from an indoor front porch, which is perched above the bar. At last, we were done exploring for the day and settled into our cozy room at the beautifully restored Bro Street Bed and Breakfast. Located just up the street from Georgetown's quaint, shop-filled downtown, The historic 1882 Taylor Dewey House was the perfect inn for the night. Its owners have lovingly paired loads of vintage charm with comfortable, up-to-date accommodations. There was even a bedroom that allowed us to experience the Victorian custom of sleeping in separate beds, where we did sleep most soundly throughout the autumn night. Best wishes on enjoying your next trip, and bye for now.